Hi guys, so I'm making this video here. Now, I don't like promoting people to do stuff if I haven't tried it out myself, but I have to say this letter worked for me and I don't see why it wouldn't work for people in Ireland. It's a very simple letter. There's no legalese here. You're just stating facts, okay? So let's go through it. I'm going to try and read over the phone, so it's not that easy, but this correspondence constitutes a formal demand and challenge to standing and authority in the matter styled index number CV. So that's my court case number, right? So that's what you say. This correspondence constitutes a formal demand and challenge to standing and authority in the matter styled, and then you put your case number. Now talking to the attorney here, you are alleged to be acting as counsel for JP Morgan Chase Bank, or whatever bank is, or whoever is bothering you, right? Tusla, whoever, doesn't matter. A corporate fiction, because they're all corporate fictions. And as such, this demand seeks clarification and verification on the following critical issues prior to any further proceedings. Proof of authority and nexus. Provide verified documentation that establishes a lawful, binding nexus between myself, the living man or woman, whoever you are, and I put my name, Mary of the House of, that's how you write your name, and your alleged client, and I have the bank here again, JP Morgan Chase, North America, specifically produce the original contract bearing the wet ink signature that created a legal obligation enforceable in this matter. See, I have a typo here. I actually said beating instead of bearing, but I guess that was a little Freudian slip there. So once again, I'll go over that. Proof of authority and nexus. Provide verified documentation that establishes a lawful binding nexus between myself, the living man, woman, Mary of the House of, and your alleged client. Specifically produce the original contract bearing the wet ink signature that created a legal obligation enforceable in this matter. Proof of standing. Produce evidence that JP Morgan Chase Bank, North America, is the injured party with a direct and tangible interest in the outcome of this matter. A third-party interloper with no first-hand knowledge or verifiable claim cannot lawfully invoke the jurisdiction of any court over a living man or woman. Okay, so you're calling them out for the fact that they're really a third-party interloper with no first-hand knowledge. Anything that they're giving you as documentation. Do you want to know what they sent me as proof of this so-called debt? I got a screenshot with some numbers on it. Just like one line with no context. And then there was a whole half a page about some woman named Cynthia who works at Chase and supposedly verified my signature, whatever that means. And then she put a digital signature, which a digital signature is not a wet ink signature. I mean, that could have been generated by anybody on a computer. How do I know that actually belonged to a woman who's alive? And even if she was, the only person who could come after me for this debt is JP Morgan. And as far as I know, that bastard is long dead. So, now, okay. Okay, so we're looking for the wet ink signature. Then it says, where are we? Proof of standing. Produce evidence is the injured party with a direct and tangible interest in the outcome of this matter. A third-party interloper with no first-hand knowledge or verifiable claim cannot lawfully invoke the jurisdiction of any court over a living man or woman. It's that simple. Now, affidavit of first-hand knowledge. You, as a representative of the alleged plaintiff, are required to submit a sworn affidavit under penalty of perjury affirming that you have first-hand knowledge of the alleged facts in this matter, that you are competent to testify to said facts in open court. Now, this is key, lads, because they are financial officers of the court. They're paid by the court. A lot of people don't know that. They're part of the system. They can never, ever, ever represent you. All they do is represent you as an animated corpse and speak on your behalf. And when that happens, you've given all your rights away. All your rights away. Now, that you are competent to testify to said facts in open court. They can't do that. They're not allowed. So you get them there. Failure to do so will be deemed tacit agreement that no legitimate claim exists and that any claim brought forth constitutes fraud, misrepresentation and abuse of process, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're just taking the piss. Acceptance of full liability. If you wish to continue to assert a claim on behalf of your client, you must also provide written affirmation that you accept full commercial and criminal liability for any and all damages arising from the prosecution in this matter. You are willing to be sworn in and testify in open court under full commercial liability to the validity of the claims you assert. It's all about the commercial liability, guys. It's not about anything else. You're letting them know, I can take your ass for being a lying ass. Very simple. Now, last one, number 5. Valid contract and authority to collect. Produce a full, certified copy of the alleged loan or contract agreement with all terms and conditions signed by all parties and evidence that your client is the current lawful holder in due course of said obligation. This letter is presented in good faith and with honourable intent. Failure to respond within 10 days will constitute your tacit agreement that you have no standing, you are acting in bad faith, you are attempting to enforce a fraudulent or unverified claim on behalf of a fiction with no injured party or verified nexus. Now, he didn't respond to me. I sent that to him on the 15th and it's now the 30th and no response. And that doesn't take that long to get there. He would have got that at most in a week. So, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. And then you just say respectfully, your name of the house of, and then this is the key part, mailed, registered, restricted mail with return receipt. Now, why is that important? It's important because when it's registered restricted, that means that you are forcing him to sign for it. So you can send it to the office, that's fine. But if it's restricted, it means he has to sign. We're playing the signature game all the time, guys. The signature game is what it's all about. So stop giving it to them and start taking it from them. He can't say that he didn't get this letter or that he doesn't know what's in it. Because I sent it to him. And he had to sign for it. And I know he signed for it. All about signatures, guys. And I know there's a lot of people like Louise McKenna, they're working very hard to get people out of the system. I want people out of the system 100%. But something simple that people can do in the meantime If you don't know what you're doing, I don't care if you're going to hospital, I don't care what you're doing. Anything that is not in an actual bank or a post office, anything that doesn't specifically have to do with money, there is no reason for you to sign signature, only autograph. Any other government form that you're signing, like I said, if it's not directly connected to banks or we'll say taxes or insurance, but any other forms you can sign it autograph. Everything can be autograph, because then they can't make money off you. And especially when you go into hospitals, don't be signing signature. Don't sign signature in there. We need to start sabotaging the money system. Big time. And the only way to do it, and I know this worked because there's a lady I know, and I've told this story, but she wanted to homeschool, and the school were giving her a hard time when they sent tussle after, and it was a whole thing, and she was scared. And she knew I knew a little bit about this stuff, and this was early days of me learning anything, and she said, what do I do? And I said, well, you can try this. So they had a meeting, and they gave her a form to sign, and I had warned her ahead of time, no form signing, right? What you do is you get a pen, and you put a line through signature, and then you write autograph, and then you write your name. You don't fight with them, you don't explain what you're doing, you don't do anything, you just do it nice and simple and give it to them. But give it to them your way. So she did that, and they looked at it and they took it outside, and they were gone for quite a while, and then they came back, and their whole attitude had completely changed. Completely changed, and that was the end of the meeting right there. And as far as I know, they haven't bothered her since. Because if they can't monetize your signature is money. Your signature is literally money to them. So stop giving it. Try and get your power back as much as you can. And like I say, if every adult in Ireland, even if you never go to the feckin' library, go to the library. But where they want you to sign signature, put autograph. And people are like, what's that going to do? Well, it's going to let them know. It's going to send a signal out that you know what's up. And you know the difference between a signature and an autograph. And if you want to get them scared, that'll scare them. That will scare them. And one thing I forgot to say, which is maybe the most important thing from yesterday. When I gave them the paperwork, they brought me into a small room. It was the young attorney and the court officer administrator woman. And she was saying, oh, there's no opposition to the motion and blah, blah. I didn't even know you had to oppose a motion. Like, I'm learning all the stuff as I'm going along. But I opposed it yesterday. That's grand, no problem. So, when she brought me in, I was like, listen, guys, I know all about the legal name fraud. And I know all about the promissory note business with the banks and how they really print the money out of nothing. And you know what happened? The young attorney, all he said was right. And he didn't look at me, he didn't make eye contact with me, he just said right. And the court officer woman, her voice got really high pitched. And she just said, oh, okay, you just tell that to the judge. I'm like, yeah. So, but I thought that was interesting because people want to make us sound like we're conspiracy theorists and we don't know what we're talking about. But let me tell you, neither of those laughed at me. Neither of those called me a conspiracy theory. They didn't sit there with a smirk on their face. They knew exactly what I was talking about, and they knew that it's not funny. They absolutely knew in that moment, and she got nervous. Because the more people that know this, that there's no job for them. That's the end of it. So, please get this letter out. I feel like it's very important. It's key ammunition. And there's no reason why it won't work in Ireland as well, because they do all the same nonsense. So, Anyway, there you go, guys. That's my little bit of knowledge. It's not my knowledge. I got it from a very wise woman. Learn from everybody that you can. Everybody can teach you a little something. But just know, you have power. They don't have power. And my ancestor, a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know much about him either. I knew I had an archbishop in my family, but Archbishop McEvely of Tuam was my grandmother's uncle. So he'd be like, what, my great-grand-uncle, I guess? Do you want to know what his claim to fame was in life? Which absolutely disgusted me. You can go up and Google him. Google him. Archbishop McEvely of Tuam. He lived from 1818 to 1902 or something like that. And that side of the family, they were bankers. Yeah. So some people feel sorry for me. I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm doing all of this stuff now. I don't think so, because I have to make things right for my bloodline, because I'm the last of that line. So it's me or nobody. And they've left all the real heavy lifting and dirty work to me. And believe me, I tell them off every single night. I'm like, F you all. Anyway, his claim to fame was he opened a boys' industrial school. I can't remember the name of it, but the sexual abuse and all kinds of abuse that happened in there was absolutely off the charts. So no matter what I do, it could never be enough to make up for him. But my point is this. People follow the church, right? Bow down to them. Now for some reason, these feckers, these courts, these legals, they've become like the new church and the new priests, and people go in and they bow down. Stop doing that. Stop it. They're fucking nobodies. I've seen the look on their face when they're confronted with the truth. And they want the ground to come and swallow them whole in that moment. If they could evaporate into thin air, they would. So don't be afraid to say your piece. Print out this letter. And anyone who comes near you, have it ready for them. Have it ready. And shove it in their face. And if you get arrested and they bring you to the Garda station, it's the same thing. They want you to sign this and sign that. Get your pen. Write autograph. They won't be long holding on to you. Because they won't be able to make money off you. It's all about commerce, guys. And your signature is money. Stop giving it away. Take your power back. It's now or never. I don't know how much time we have because digital is coming in fast. They need digital because with digital there's no way to alter signing your signature, right? It'll all be scan this and scan that, and there'll be no takesy-backsies ever again. So, I leave it there. I hope it was useful. Do you live, Golair?